Sangita Lal. 12 people have died, including one gunman, in what police are calling a terrorist attack targeting the Jewish community at Bondi Beach in Sydney. 29 people have also been taken to hospital. Officers say 2 shooters opened fire at an event to mark the start of Hanukkah. Will Tullis reports, and a warning: you may find some of this footage distressing.
As the sun was setting over Bondi Beach, gunshots and screams filled the air. After gunmen opened fire, killing several people, injuring dozens more, some critically.
I seen like a kid, like she was like maybe 8 years old, she got injured in the leg, and she was crying, and she was on the ground, so she was behind her mom.
I was holding somebody's child because he was screaming, I was saving this child.
And everyone is running down, and 2 police officers lying down on the ground next to me. I think I fall down, and the blood was coming from my hand.
This was, authorities have now confirmed, an act of terror targeting Jewish worshippers.
We know that there were many people there to celebrate a happy occasion, the celebration of Hanukkah, and there was well over 1,000 people there when this took place. As a result of the circumstances of the incident tonight, at 9:36 p.m. this evening, I declared this to be a terrorist incident.
Remarkably, this man managed to disarm one of the gunmen. Who then retreated towards what appears to be the second shooter. Police have not ruled out the possibility of a third offender and say they have found a car containing what they believe to be explosives.
An attack on Jewish Australians is an attack on every Australian. And every Australian tonight will be, like me, devastated on this attack on our way of life.
Authorities have urged people not to speculate or spread unconfirmed rumours as their investigation continues, and Australia confronts this devastating act of terror. Will Tullis, ITV News.
Well, Helen Keenan, our reporter, was near the scene when it happened and sent us this report.
There has been mass panic here in Sydney. The area has been evacuated, and you can see behind me that it remains sealed off. In fact, there are people still gathering here, still very emotional, some breaking down in tears as they try and take in just what has happened. There are several witnesses I've spoken to. Some are just still in their towels from when they ran clean the beach, and they told me how they could hear the shots firing, and people were fleeing from the scene, running, jumping into cars, desperate to get away.
We panicked. We didn't know what to do. We were on the main road, and we thought, we've got to get off this street. It's too open.
So we basically ran off the road, jumped into her car, we were panicking, and then we had these cars in front of us, people shoved into the boots in bikinis, panicking, you could see their faces, and everyone was just hurtling down the street, and we were just oh my god, everyone's running away from this thing, there's literally a mass shooter.
Well, everyone I've spoken to here has talked about their desperation, but also about their sadness that they are feeling. This is an attack that has not only rocked the Jewish community, but the whole of Sydney.
Helen Keenan reporting there from Bondi Beach, and we'll have more updates throughout the afternoon on our news website, itv.com/news, and on the news section of ITVX. Meanwhile, in the US, police have detained a man in connection with a shooting where 2 students were killed and 9 others injured at a university in Rhode Island. Officers had been searching for the suspect overnight in a manhunt involving hundreds of officers. Exams were taking place at Brown University when the gunman attacked. Students were told to lock their doors and keep their phones on silent. The Home Secretary has deemed violence against women and girls a national emergency as she announced that police forces across England and Wales will have specialist rape and sex offence investigation teams by 2029. Well, our reporter, political correspondent Lucy McDade is here. Lucy, what more can we expect in how the government plans to tackle this crime?
Well, the government is saying there are 3 parts to this plan, if you like. 1, prevention, so changing attitudes among boys and young men, improving justice outcomes, and then long-term support for victims. and survivors. The government has really been criticised for this, though, not necessarily the content of the strategy itself, but the fact that they've delayed publishing it 3 times. Since winning the election, a group of MPs warned the government this week that sends the message to victims that they aren't prioritising tackling this issue. We put this to the Home Secretary earlier, and this is what she said.
No government has ever tried to halve the levels of violence against women and girls in the way that we have committed to doing. No government has ever before called time on this national emergency and said that we're going to have a cross-government effort in order to clamp down on these crimes. No government ever before has said that we're going to look at both prevention as well as the perpetrators of these crimes, and on top of that, that we're going to support victims and survivors with the help they need to turn their lives around.
Well, after having 3 delays, we will get the full strategy next week. Today, one of the announcements is making sure all police forces have a specialist sexual offences team, and the government wants to make it easier to deport foreign sex offenders. The reaction on the whole today has been good. Organisations say, these words are welcome, but the real measure of success will be in the statistics, and victims say it's absolutely crucial that those statistics are shared with the public.
Thank you, Lucy. And finally, scientists working in one of the most remote places on the planet have been given a special delivery from the King to help them stay connected with loved ones. A new Royal Mail postbox has been installed at a British research centre in the Antarctic after staff there wrote to the monarch. Luckily, their request reached the royal household, who said they were touched by the story. And that's all we have time for now. ITV News is back at 5:30 later this afternoon. Whatever you're doing until then, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye.